Hello, my name is Kira Smith, and I'm a mom that has been in family court at Lamoureux in Orange County for nearly 7 years. My judge is Judge Eileen Solis, and back in 2022, I did a 7:30 evaluation with Dr. Tauli Reinhart, and the report that she wrote was completely fraudulent. And as I started to try to understand the fraud and the psych eval that supported the fraudulent report, I determined that Dr. Reinhart had actually physically and literally taken the exam for me on my behalf. I never took the exam. She took it for me and put my name on it. Once I discovered that, I filed a police report with the Irvine PD, and the process began of trying to expose this corruption and fraud that has harmed over 1,000 families. I did not lose my son because of the fraudulent report. I lost my son trying to expose her fraud so that the hundreds, over 1,000 families actually that have been harmed could be vindicated. And through this process, I wound up connecting with some amazing parents, half moms, half dads, through Yelp, and we all shared the same experiences. We have been battling this fraud ever since. And Consumer Affairs actually did a full-blown investigation of Dr. Reinhart for nearly a year and submitted it for criminal referral to the Special Prosecutions Unit at the District Attorney's Office in Orange County. At the time, I did not understand that Mr. Todd Spitzer, the head DA, would be signing off on everything, even though some other parents had told me that it won't progress further. They won't prosecute her because Mr. Spitzer is not going to allow that to happen, and the fraud is going to be concealed. At the time, I didn't see that to be true. We were working with the SPU, and I thought that it would absolutely move forward in prosecution because the evidence is beyond a reasonable doubt. I know because I submitted a lot of it myself, and some of the answers, true and false, they do not match because she recreates the bubble sheet, and it's actually a little complicated what she was doing, which is why she has gotten away with it for so long. But I was able to, beyond a reasonable doubt, prove all of this to Consumer Affairs, and myself and many of the other harmed parents provided just boxes of evidence, basically. So I have a restraining order against me for wanting to greet my son and give him a hug after a soccer game. That is typical in family court. This is not just something that happens to me. This is something that happens widespread. Now, if someone tells me that they have a restraining order against them and they're in family court, my tendency is to believe that they're probably the victim. It's not always the case, but often it is. Often case that the targeted parent winds up with a restraining order against them, and the abusive parent, if there is one in the situation, winds up masquerading as a victim. And this is not just my case where this has happened. It's happened in countless cases that are currently in family court. So I got the restraining order, and then in April, I wanted to wish my son a happy birthday. I stood at the school peacefully to wish him a happy birthday, and I got arrested and was put in the Santa Ana jail for 3 days before an inmate taught me how to bond out, which I had no idea. If it weren't for the inmate, I'd still probably be in jail. So it is July. I never got to wish my son a happy birthday in April. And so despite the fact that Judge Eileen Solis says she hasn't taken away any of my rights, I'm sure that I would have been able to wish my son a happy birthday if that were true. I've had no contact and a complete loss of my son for the past year and a half. Tomorrow is my arraignment, and I want to thank California Family Law Naked Truth because I believe court watchers are going to be coming to support, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. The arraignment, for anyone that would like to come, is at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning at Harbor Justice in H4 with Judge Greg Prickett. I will say that so far, going into criminal court is the greatest thing that could ever happen because it is actually functions like a court. So far, I've had 4 different judges and a commissioner. I have not seen so far any corruption. The judges seem to follow the law. Even my prosecuting attorney, just as we were chatting about certain motions and so forth, told me that he wants to follow the law. That is something that in 7 years I've never heard a family court attorney say. The prosecuting attorney that works for the DA wants to follow the law. The issue, however, regarding Dr. Reinhart is that up at the top is Todd Spitzer, and as of June 17th, the SPU called me and said that they would not be moving forward with the prosecution, and that is specifically because of Todd Spitzer. So I have filed a motion to compel in the criminal case, and I am hoping that Judge Prickett signs off on this for an in-camera review, which means that he would review all of the evidence in chambers for himself, and then would have the discretion to release whatever he would choose into the public, so that we can use this in our cases, so that I can get my case dismissed that was completely based on extrinsic fraud. The entire reason I lost my son is illegal. It's a violation of due process, but these are things that family court completely disregards. So now it's getting interesting in criminal court. I'm trying to modify my criminal protective order, which would possibly allow me to have contact with my son. And this is now all in the hands of Judge Prickett in Harbor Justice, who those of us that have been to any of my hearings so far, we like him a lot. He's fair and he's honest, and that is something that we are not used to seeing in family court. So again, thank you to California Family Law Naked Truth for showing up for me tomorrow, and let's see how this goes. Thank you all for your support. Have a great day. Bye-bye.